Hey everybody, welcome to owltalespodcast. This is our first episode of the new podcast here, getting started back. This is Matt Whitaker, and I'm joined here today with Lewis Mink.
Hey.
And joining us on the phone is Daniel Bussell over at Locust Trace High School in Lexington, Kentucky.
That's where I'm at right at this moment.
Yep, and Daniel is still, we're recording this, today's December 18th. This episode's going to come out on January 1st. We're getting a little bit of a head start just because Christmas and everything's going to be so busy and we want to have time with our family and stuff, but Daniel's still in school.
Boo.
Oh, yeah, it's fun times.
Yeah, I never did like the way that it falls and then they want to do a couple of days on like Monday and Tuesday. That always feels like the most useless waste of time that's ever existed on the face of the earth.
It's torture for both student and teacher.
Yeah, it's torture for everybody. I bet the janitors hate it too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they just like, we just want y'all to leave us alone so we can work. And there's still a bunch of people here. So me and Lewis, we got out on Friday. So we're free and ready to go. And we're, I don't know if I've ever had like a full week before Christmas. I can't remember. I was trying to think about that earlier. I don't think I remember a time that I was out for a whole week before Christmas Day actually happened. Can you, Lewis?
No, I can't think of anything similar to that. I think the biggest thing I've ever had is one time in Perry County, we didn't go back. We was out from like December 18th until February the 2nd. So
because of snow?
Yeah, nice.
And ice. That's crazy.
Well, or just to talk about snow and ice, and they probably canceled, just expecting it.
Yeah. Yeah, in Eastern Kentucky, people take their snow very seriously over there. We're kind of on the edge, so we kind of take it seriously. But, we in Eastern Kentucky, if they say that S word, they're like batting down the hatches. And it don't have to be much, but to be fair, they have some bad roads over there. And it's pretty rough in some places. But
just getting to the school was kind of a hassle because it was crookeder than a dog's leg all the way around through there. So
yeah, maybe 2 dogs' legs combined.
Yeah, both hind legs.
Both hind legs. Okay. Well, just we're already kind of getting off in a weird direction here, talking about things, but I think we wanted to kind of start off with, and we kind of mentioned this a little bit on the introductory episode 0 from a few days ago that we released. But first of all, we're excited to be back. I think we had kind of gone for a while, and we ended up, I think, having a little bit of burnout and stuff, which we'll talk about here in a few seconds. But we're just really thrilled to be back doing this with you guys, and we hope that everybody else is really excited to be listening. And just to kind of kick us off a little bit, a couple of things we wanted to kind of make sure that we mention as we're getting started. We want this restart on the Owl Tales podcast. We want a lot more audience participation, and so we want, based on what we talk about on today's episode, we want to hear what you guys think about it. And we want to hear what you all have to say. Or if you have a question that you want to ask Lewis, he is just a fountain of wisdom.
Yes, I am.
And so we want to make sure that we have people participating with us. So we're in the process of upping our game on our social media. And so there are a few different ways that you can contact us now, and we're going to be trying to put stuff out on some different platforms. But you can email us at owltalespodcast@gmail.com. You can contact us on Twitter at owltalespodcast. We're on Instagram, owltalespodcast on Instagram. We're on Facebook, which a lot of people already follow us on Facebook. That's probably where we have the most followers right now. And then here just a few minutes ago, Lewis and I opened us up a TikTok account, and we're going to try to be putting some stuff on the TikTok so we can appeal to the younger generation and get them interested in what we're doing also. So, Daniel, you got all that?
Oh, absolutely. I think I can figure out it's pretty much everything is at owltalespodcast.
Yeah, there's definitely a theme.
I would have never guessed.
And if for some weird reason, Owltale's podcast was not really taken on by anybody. You think that would be a really popular name, but I guess not. So maybe we're just unique and creative. I don't really know. But
well, I figured somebody would like the tales of owls, so they'd want to create a podcast about the tales.
Yeah. I really just wonder what percentage of people look this up and they want to learn about owls. They want to know, I want to know about like what owls do at night when they're out hunting and learn about their biology.
Maybe they will send us a message via one of those social media platforms, and we can get some knowledge about owls on the podcast.
Maybe we will do an episode where we just talk about owls the whole time. I would kind of like that, honestly. Lewis, you look like you're about to say something, but I couldn't tell if you were going to.
Well, I was going to make an owl sound, but I don't even know what they sound like, so never mind.
I think they go, hoo-hoo. Hoo-hoo. Yeah, that's good. That was a good owl. You did great.
Hoo-hoo.
All right. Well, so kind of getting back to, talking about restarting and everything, a lot of people ask us why, after we kind of just took a break for a while, people would say, like, where'd you guys go? Why'd you quit? What are you doing when you're going to put out another episode? And it just kind of felt bad, I felt like we let some people down. And not that we had, we didn't have like 1 million followers or anything. So, but we did have some people that were kind of sad that we sort of went away. So just kind of a little bit of an explanation. Lewis, why do you feel like we needed to take a break when we did?
I think a lot of it was going through COVID, and we all just kind of got tired of the technology portion, having to do the Skype and all that stuff. It kind of got old with that. And
yeah.
I think we all had 1 million things going on too at one time. So
yeah, definitely, you would have thought that COVID would have been a perfect time for us to do this because we didn't have as much responsibilities at school and everything, but it just made it really hard to have anything to talk about. We weren't working like normal, and we really tried for a long time during COVID to kind of talk about things, but it just didn't feel like there was much to say about anything because we weren't really working, and we needed to be working so we could talk about our work. But so that was part of it. And kind of what Lewis said about Skype, like I lost my MacBook when I moved schools. They took my MacBook away. And so that made things kind of hard, but then we were trying to do it through Skype, and that was a process, just getting the audio from the Skype. That was really a headache. And so I just got kind of tired of having to do that. But now we have some wonderful resources that we can use that make things much, much easier. And so it's going to make it to where I don't have to spend like 3 hours trying to put up one episode. So that makes things better. What about you, Daniel? Were you tired of me and Lewis and just needed a break from us, or what was?
I am sick of both of you. I mean, I just had to, get away.
Yeah.
No, just kind of a natural fit at that moment in time, I think. And I really enjoyed getting on here and talking with you, both of you guys. But like I said, it's hard to get topics and things going when you're sitting at home looking at a wall for 6 or 7 hours a day. Right. So I think that had a big play in a lot of it.
Yeah, I think so. And to be fair, Daniel really tried. He would send me and Lewis a message and say, "Hey, when are we going to do another episode?" And me and Lewis would just go, "Ugh," because it just felt like, it just felt like it was just too much effort, I guess, to put into it. It was for me anyway. But
I think we lost an episode or two over the Skype thing.
Yeah, yeah, we did. We recorded like a whole hour-long thing, and then it just went away, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think, couldn't get it.
Yeah, I think
that lost episode. I think we called it.
I don't even remember what we talked about. I think that was one that was the straw that broke the camel's back before. So, But that's not going to happen this time. This time we're ready to rock and roll. We've got everything out here. We've got what we need. We've got all the things, and we're reinvigorated about it. And I've already got a list of things for us to talk about, so we don't have to worry about it. I got enough topics for us to do 3 or 4 years worth of stuff, I think. So, but we're going to try to record every other week and get out an episode every other Monday for everybody to listen to. And between episodes, we're kind of part of the reason we did the 2 weeks is we want to talk about the things that you all have to add to the show. So when you all, if you send us an email or a Facebook message or whatever about what we talked on the previous episode, then we would like to be able to talk about it on the next episode. So we're going to try to give time for people to do that and get plenty of audience participation, like we said, so that we can talk about it. Now, obviously, we don't have that today because it's the first one. So we don't have any audience participation yet. But hopefully on that second episode, the people will be able to talk to us about what we talk about on today's episode. And then we'll kind of start a thing where we go through some audience comments and questions and before we kind of get into our topic for that episode. And that'll give us a way to shout people out and answer their questions and let Lewis share his knowledge, and we'll go through and give everybody a chance to be talked about on a nationwide podcast.
International.
Well, I don't think we got international yet this time. We did last time, and we probably will this time. But right now, I don't think we've gone beyond the borders of the U.S. yet. So, but we will.
We'll reach the people in Japan that teach ag ed there.
Yes.
FFJ.
FFJ. What does that stand for?
Future Farmers of Japan.
It's not the National FFJ organization.
Well, they may be. I don't know.
They didn't change it.
I didn't call them and ask them.
They changed it in the 80s to reflect the,
less farmers.
Diversity of the agriculture industry in Japan. And other countries too. All right, so let's get into our topic for today. So we wanted to start off with something that is a very important topic for teachers. We want to take this as seriously as possible and make it to where, we are really putting out some good information that's going to be helpful to all teachers, not just agriculture teachers across the country. So we wanted to start off with probably what we thought was the most important thing. And so when I was sitting thinking about topics, I was like, what is the single most important thing that all teachers have in common that affects every single teacher every single day that they work at school? And so I was sitting there thinking about that, and I was I came up with a couple of different options, but I was thinking, but then I got to this one and I was like, man, this is the one thing every single teacher, no matter what grade they teach, no matter what type of school they teach in, if they teach at a area technology center or a career tech center or a regular school setting, it affects all of us. And so, and then with it being like New Year's and people thinking about New Year's resolutions, I thought this would be a good topic for this today too. So today's topic on the Owl Tales podcast is going to be lunch. The most important part of the school day for every single teacher in order to ensure that we're all successful is lunch. Now, first of all, do you guys agree with me on that, or am I way off target?
It's my favorite subject. And I spend a lot of time really preparing and thinking about what's going to be for lunch. And for me, it's a little bit different because we don't have a cafeteria at Lucas Trace anymore. But I've worked in a school where we did have cafeteria, and so it changes things, I guess. But, for me, my lunch is whatever I'm going to be bringing, or if I need to go get something. For you all, you have options within the school that I don't have.
Well, yeah, we do have the cafeteria, and we have wonderful cafeteria staff here at Rockcastle County High School, Mount Vernon, Kentucky. They are the most wonderful people on the face of the earth, and they do a great job, and we do have that. So Lewis and I, though, we have How long is our lunch, Lewis? Like 25 minutes?
It's supposed to be 25 minutes, but it never is that. Though.
I feel like we get a little shorted on that because we have to go actually like pick up our students from lunch. We have to walk down there and get them all and then bring them back to the room with us. So that cuts into our lunch just a little bit, and that's probably how, some of you guys are too. But how long do you all get for lunch, Daniel? You all probably get like 2 hours or something.
Well, it's kind of, I think we actually get a 25-minute lunch, but it's also a lunch/planning period.
I see.
So I can eat my lunch and plan at the same time. And so I'm not really sure how long my lunch is,
This is however long you want it to be.
Yeah, I mean, it could be almost, let's see, from 11:05 until we don't get students again until about 12:15, start coming back in the door. So, I mean, a little over an hour if I wanted it to be, I guess.
Yeah.
Depending on where I wanted to eat my lunch at. If I want to eat it in front of my computer and plan, then,
Well, now you said that we had a lot more options. I don't know if I really want to hear that from you because, like, you teach in Lexington, and so after you said that, and I was like, do we really have more options here? Because like you have like a mile from your school, you have Taco Bell, which we have Taco Bell too, but you have like all these restaurants down there.
Dre.
Is that on Frankfort Pike in Lexington? Leestown Road. That's right.
Yeah.
So you have all those restaurants down there, and we
can always Grubhub too. I mean, if we needed
to. See, they can do Grubhub, Lewis.
What's Grubhub?
I don't know. I think it's it's like the Uber for food.
What's a Uber?
I don't know. I'll let your mom and dad explain that one to you.
Okay.
So, I was thinking about that too. Like you all probably can't Uber or Lyft, Grubhub, anything down there.
We can't. We can't. You know what though? I think I get my prescriptions. I get those from Walgreens, and I'm pretty sure they'll deliver them for free to my house, and I'm pretty sure they use the Grubhub app to deliver my medicine because it's always just some random person in a car that brings medicine to my house.
So Walgreens needs to go back to the old time pharmacy kind of deal where they can like do ice cream and milkshakes and like the old soda fountain.
They could deliver that to us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go back.
Yeah. Or they could at least bring us a can of Pringles. But no, we can't do Grubhub. We're like, obviously, well, in Mount Vernon, we do have some restaurants. And we're fortunate because we do have the interstate, or we probably wouldn't have any fast food restaurants. But we do have a few. But we can't get there and back during our lunchtime. There's no way. We just have to sit there and dream of Taco Bell instead of actually going to get it. So Lewis, you have an interesting strategy for lunch. Why don't you tell people about your lunch strategy? I kind of like Lewis's lunch strategy.
I don't eat lunch. Usually during lunch, I talk to Matt, or we get something going, or make my phone calls, or whatever I need to. And what I eat, like if I need to eat, I go to the vending machine and get a honey bun and a bag of Grippos, and a Dr. Pepper. And that's my lunch.
Now, Grippos are a strong play. Yes. I do like the Grippos. But I want to say about Lewis, I'm just going to poke fun at Lewis a little bit, which is kind of what we do on this. But Lewis, I'll get my lunch out because we eat lunch at the same time. So I'll get my lunch out or whatever. And Lewis will say like, I'm doing that intermittent fasting, or I'm just not going to eat today. And then like, at like 2:00, he's got Grippos and a Big Pop, and, and he's just like going to town on them. And I'm like, how's that intermittent fasting going?
It don't ever go well. But see, I don't eat nothing like after 8:00 at night. I eat nothing at home, and then I go until usually I don't get nothing from the vending machine until 7th period, which is like 2:00. Yeah. You do. You kind of stick to that schedule. But then I just think it's like the other day you had
Cheetos and donuts or something, didn't you?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah,
And
they
he was
didn't have
like,
no Grippos.
he was just like going to town on the Cheetos and donuts. And
It
I
was
like,
amazing.
"Dang, Lewis."
I was starved to death.
So,
Like how early do you all start lunch? Like what's the earliest?
oh my gosh.
lunch?
Well, see, here's the thing. Mine and Lewis's lunch starts at 10:40.
Oh my
It's
word!
ridiculous. And so here's what I do. I don't eat. I kind of do planning during lunch, and then I teach my 4th period class, and then I have planning 5th period. So that starts at like 12:20. So then I eat during my planning time. So it's kind of more of a normal lunch time. But
Because 10:40 to me is still breakfast time.
yeah, that's like brunch.
Yeah.
I feel like we need that pecan glazed chicken
Yeah.
that they have at
Anybody
that they have at the
listening,
Galt House in Louisville.
anybody listening that has anything to do with the KAAE, the Kentucky whatever people, please bring that back to our conference.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What if we had that every day? That would be awesome.
I'd be down.
It's like it is like brunch though. But then I can't eat at 10:40 because then if I do that by 3:00 I'm about to eat everything I can get my hands on.
Grippos and a
I would eat a whole big bag of Grippos. I'd probably do that anyway, but because they're delicious. But I would be like inside, and I kind of already am anyway. Like when I get home from school every day, I just like go through the pantry and just start going crazy because I don't know. Like I feel like I probably need to like have some more healthy snacks during the day, like break a banana or something and eat that like about 2:00. But then the kids make fun of me because I'm eating while I'm teaching, and
I know Miss Myers was a big fan when you were at Bull County. She's a big fan of you eating Pop-Tarts. I know she was.
No, I didn't eat Pop-Tarts. Did she say that I ate Pop-Tarts?
No, but Pop-Tarts is her. That's her like food that she doesn't actually like.
Oh yeah. Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Like
so
she always goes nuts on anybody eating a Pop-Tart.
Yeah. So I taught at Boyle County High School for 9.5 years. And 8 of those years, Tony Myers was my co-teacher. Tony is kind of a ag teacher legend in Kentucky. And she now works with Daniel at Locust Trace. And so, if she saw a student eating a Pop-Tart, she would harass them like crazy. Like she would just dog them the whole time they were eating the Pop-Tart. Telling them about how unhealthy it was and stuff. We also had a teacher there at Boyle County who her big thing was she didn't want kids to eat fast food. And she actually had a Happy Meal that she went and bought, and she kept it on a shelf in her room for years. She had the full Happy Meal still in the bag, the cheeseburger on the bun and the fries and everything. And she would get it out and show it to kids and show it how it looked exactly the same as it did when she bought it, and tell them about like how bad that was for them to eat all that stuff with all those preservatives and everything in it.
I bet Lewis would eat.
Well, I was getting ready to say that I would probably go eat it right now.
If you had her as your
had
teacher,
anything
you would
to
have
eat.
snuck it off of her shelf.
Well, yeah, I'd probably went in there and ate it.
Demolish it.
I'd ask her, "Can I have it?"
Actually, what was happening was somebody was replacing it every day.
Yeah.
She just didn't know.
Well,
Somebody was out.
The McDonald's.
I mean, I got it out and she showed it to me one time, and the cheeseburger was like shriveled up, like you could tell it was old, but there was like no mold on it, no,
The
it
fries
wasn't
were probably
rotten.
crispy.
The fries looked exactly the same.
Yeah.
I'd throw it in the microwave, put a little ketchup on it, and went right on.
Well, it probably, you know what the crazy thing is, it probably wouldn't have hurt you at all but yeah, I don't know. And that kind of did make me think about it. So, and I told her one day I was like, that's okay. I don't eat, when I go to McDonald's, I don't get a cheeseburger. I just get chicken nuggets. So it's okay.
Lord.
It's all good. So, but yeah, I don't know. Like that did kind of change my perspective on fast food a little bit. So
Daniel, you all also have your own kitchens and stuff, so you could cook your own lunch there too. You used to do that some.
Yeah, I'm there for a while. I was cooking pretty regularly, and I made some really good meals here at Locust Trace at times. But then it got to where it's like, this is like another job in itself, cooking, doing the dishes, and all. I'm like, it's just easier to bring something from home and warm it up, or just go get something. So, but I did really enjoy, I get the George Foreman out and the lean mean fat grilling machine, and throw some tenderloins on there. Air fryer, have an air fryer, and I can make some really good French fries in an air fryer. So every once in a while, I pull out a fresh meal.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Yeah, we can.
We have a microwave.
So we do have a few.
Oh yeah, well, we do have. Yeah, we have our school. Our principal's bought a Blackstone grill, and we've not really. They asked us if they could store it back here. They told us if we stored it back here, we could cook on it anytime we wanted to. But we've not really done that much.
No, I need
to fire it up every once and grill you a steak on there once a week
at 10 in the morning.
No, the bad thing is we only got 20 minutes really, and
yeah.
By the time I guess I could go out there my planning is before lunch, so I guess I could cook during my planning.
Yeah, we have steak at 10:40 in the morning.
That actually sounds pretty good, right?
Steak
now.
And eggs.
Yeah, I don't like eggs.
So do you all have to monitor the cafeteria any?
No, we don't. We just have to go pick up our students from when they get done with lunch. But I'm very thankful that we don't have to do that.
No, I had to my first year here. They had, if you have fourth period planning, you have lunchroom duty for like 25 minutes. In my first year here, I had lunchroom duty because I had fourth period planning that year. And it wasn't terrible or anything. I kind of got to sit back there and talk to the two janitors that were here and kind of talk to kids. I enjoyed that part of it, but I never cared much for it.
I just feel like the cafeteria is just like anarchy. It's just like lawless, wasteland of.
When I first started teaching at Owen County, I didn't have to sit in there for lunch duty, but I had to be in there for breakfast when the buses were arriving. The buses could go to like two places. They could go to the cafeteria, or they could go to the gym. And the very first day of school, my first year teaching, I was in the cafeteria, and a girl comes in and grabs a tray of breakfast, dumps all the stuff off of it, and I'm talking about one of those like the thick plastic, the old-fashioned plastic. And she takes that upside of another girl's head and cracks it in half.
Oh my gosh! Cracked it in
and
half?
So yeah,
over her head?
Busted that thing over her head.
Oh my gosh!
And so from then on, we had styrofoam trays the rest of my time. So they got rid of those pretty quick.
Yeah.
But I always would get I normally would eat some kind of breakfast in there, because a lot of times they had some, sausage egg biscuit or sausage biscuit, something like that was pretty good. But over time, the biscuits kept getting like worse and worse. And so, as most people know, I took a softball hit to the face at one point.
Yeah. That'd be another story for another day. Yeah.
Right. But so during this particular time though, for breakfast, that had happened that summer. And so I still had like a partial plate, so I could take my teeth in and out. And I kept telling the head cafeteria lady, her name was Penny, and I kept telling her, I said, Penny, you're going to do something about these biscuits. They're cooking them too long. I said, they're almost like a rock. I can't hardly eat these anymore. And so one morning I was sitting there eating this biscuit, and I felt a crack. When I bit down on this biscuit, I felt something crack in my mouth. And I realized that I had broke my partial plate in half by biting down on this biscuit.
That's not a well-made biscuit.
It was well made, all right. Like you could have built a house on that thing. I mean, it was a solid. So I went up. I pulled my partial plate out, and the teeth just fell off of them, like it broke them in half. And so I was missing all of my teeth, my front teeth, because of that. So I went up to Penny, and I told her, I said, "Now, Penny, if you need any more evidence than this, like, you have got to quit cooking these biscuits too long." I said, it broke my teeth. I had to miss 2 days of school.
Oh my gosh!
Because I had to go get the partial plate fixed. Well, you can't just like go to the dentist and they fix it. Like, I had to go. I went to the dentist, and he tried to fix it, and it wouldn't work. So they sent me to Lexington the next day, and I had to go to this lab somewhere here in Lexington, and they had to like remold this partial plate and sanded it all back down and all this kind of stuff. It was quite an ordeal.
Sounds like it.
So I quit eating the biscuits after that, because I was like, that was too much trouble.
Did they cook them too long, or were they still frozen, you think?
I think they were just cooked. They were cooked a little bit too long. Like, they just stuck them in there and like forgot them and just pulled them out. Like, oh, time for breakfast.
Yeah. I feel like that's not how it should be. I feel like your biscuits shouldn't break your teeth, but I don't know. That's I don't guess I've ever really eaten breakfast at school very much. I usually just I have to eat, like, for me, I need to eat something like really almost as soon as I get up, or I'll have a headache if I wait very long. So I usually just eat like a bowl of cereal or something at home, and then for lunch at school, sometimes I'm a big leftovers guy. I like leftovers. So if we have a meal at home, I usually bring leftovers for lunch, or if I don't do that, then I'll bring, I don't know, I kind of go through phases, but right now I'm on a thing where I make like a wrap. I get a tortilla and make like a wrap with like turkey and salami and cheese or something. And that's working out pretty good for me. Before that, I was on a kick where I just had carrots and grapes and like a piece of string cheese or something. I usually don't eat a whole lot for lunch, but that's probably why I'm like starving at the end of the day, because I don't really eat much for lunch. And I don't know, like, but I don't really have like a set thing that I usually bring like every single day. So, but you telling your story, Daniel, reminded me of a story that I had from when I was a state FFA officer. So this was 2006, 2007, kind of right back in that time. And of course I went around and did a bunch of chapter visits. Well, this one time I went on a chapter visit. This was in the fall of the year, I remember. And I went to Lee County High School in Beattyville, Kentucky. And the ag teacher there, his name's Orville Bennett, and he's retired now. He taught for like, was it 40 years, Lewis? 42? 42 years. Lewis student taught with him. And so I went there, and he like rolled out the red carpet for me. I felt like a celebrity when I was there. The newspaper was there. They put me on the front page of the newspaper. They had a big bulletin board in front of the school that said welcome and all this stuff. And I got my picture by it and everything. And he fixed lunch, because Mr. Bennett would do that a lot. Like, he fixed lunch in his shop. He didn't use his shop for ag mechanics. He used it to cook. And so he fixed lasagna, and he had all this food, and all the teachers came and ate with us, and his classes ate with us. The ones that he had, like 2 or 3 different class periods, ate lasagna for lunch. And it was like the whole thing. We had salad and garlic bread and all this stuff, and it was great. And then he had all the food in these, aluminum foil pans, and he had the little warmers underneath them to keep it all warm. And we did a workshop after lunch with some of his kids, and I did this activity. I don't even remember what it was, but I remember I told the kids to pretend they were in a burning house, and it was some kind of communication thing, and they were supposed to be like communicating that they were in a burning house without saying what exactly it was. They were supposed to like do the nonverbal part of it. And so the kids that were doing it, they weren't really into it very much. They were just kind of like standing there. Well, Mr. Bennett didn't like that. He was wanting them to get into it a little bit more. So what he did was he went and got one of the warmers, one of the burners that actually had, like flame coming out of it. He started chasing these two kids around the shop going, "It's on fire! It's on fire!" And he started like chasing them around with his fire. They started screaming and running around the shop, and he was like chasing them with this little flame thing. And they were just like running around. It's a wonder somebody didn't get killed, honestly, or we caught the school on fire.
That's typical Orville Bennett there.
Yeah. Lewis, do you not have nothing crazy ever happen to you at lunchtime or anything?
No, not really. I broke up a fight one time during lunch at Perry County. Two boys decided to get into it, and one was on top of the other one. Nobody else would help me, so I just grabbed a hold of one boy and kind of just like slung him across the floor. So that's about the craziest things that ever happened at lunch.
Nice.
Daniel, when I was at Locust Trace, me and Daniel would go get lunch sometimes, and they always talked about how bad of a driver I was. So that's about it.
I could.
He would drive. He would drive his car like he's racing.
Yeah.
I don't know if people have ridden with Lewis in the car, but like he's like poking buttons on the top of the car that don't exist.
I gotta get in that mindset.
My favorite thing that Lewis does when he's driving is when we're about to pull out somewhere, like you're sitting in the passenger seat and waiting on traffic, and he looks over at you and he says, "Do you trust me?" And I was like, "Do I have a choice?" And
Not really.
He just goes. But when he says, "Do you trust you?" You better grab onto the door or something, the door handle.
We still talk about this every once in a while. Lewis and his driving in Lexington, like he just despised driving in Lexington, and he's always fussing about the drivers in Lexington. So we had gone to get some lunch, and he was fussing about how people would sit at the lights and not paying attention and be, just holding up the traffic, all that kind of stuff. Well, Lewis gets done telling us about how much he gets aggravated when people hold up the traffic. And so we had gotten our lunch. We're sitting at a light, and Lewis is just sitting there. Light turns green. Lewis never takes off. Cars are blowing the horn. And we just gave him such a hard time because he just told us how aggravated he would get when people sit at the light and don't go.
I remember that now. I forgot what I was doing.
I don't know. And then he squall tires driving out of the light.
Playing drag racing on your phone, probably.
Probably was.
That might have been what he was doing.
Yeah. Oh,
well, as soon as it turns green, you better be going, in my opinion, because you only got so much time. You don't need to hold everybody else up just because you think you got plenty of time.
Yeah, we're all trying to go get lunch in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
There was one time, too. Oh, we've started doing this new thing at our school, which we did it some last year, but we've kind of done it a little more frequently this year. They give us an extended lunch.
It's amazing.
That is the most amazing. Like, every time we have one of those, it's the most amazing day. But they take all the students in the gym and let them, just kind of have a little bit of free time, and we get an extra 30 minutes for lunch. And one of the first times that we had one of those, me and Lewis thought we're like, "Hey, we're going to go out and get lunch," because we thought we were somebody. And so we go out. There's this new restaurant in town up here, probably about 5 or 10 minutes from the school. And so we go in, and we're like, "Let's go try this new restaurant. Let's go try this new restaurant." And so we go in there, and they took our order, and they were like, "It'd be about 20 minutes." And we're like, "Oh, that's great, because we can get back. We might have to take it with us, but we'll get it. We'll have plenty of time." Well, 20 minutes came and went, and 30 minutes came and went, and 40 minutes came and went. And then Lewis started, we'd already paid.
Yeah,
we paid for our meal.
She said, "Let me just go ahead and take you card so that we can have it done."
And so we finally were just like, we've got to go. We've got to go. We can't wait anymore. We got to get back to school. And so she said, "That's okay. We'll give you your money back. We'll go on there and cancel it out." And Daniel, do you think they actually paid us back?
I don't know.
The answer is no.
Negative.
No, we never got our money back. So we just had to deal with it. But we did go back one time. We gave them we said we give you this one time, and then if you do that to us again, we're never going back. And we went back one time and ate it, and it was decent. But
I got pulled pork nachos and didn't even get no nacho cheese on it.
So we've not been back.
Very disappointed.
Yeah, but we did make a donation to the place though. So we want to support our local businesses, and so we did. We just gave them our money and just walked out. So anyway, so if any of you all have a good story about lunch or a comment that you want to add to something that we said about lunch at school, or if you have a question to kind of go off what we had, get in touch with us. You could always send us an email and get in touch with us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's all the Owl Tales Podcast. So please make sure and get on there and do that. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what you guys have to say about lunch and many other topics, or anything you want to kind of throw out there at us. So, all right. I think we're going to kind of moving into some final thoughts for the day. We're going to do our binomial nomenclature here in just a few minutes, and for those of you who may be new to what we do here, every episode, at the end of the episode, in order to kind of help us broaden our agricultural knowledge, Lewis helps us to pronounce one of the many species we have on our planet. He will tell us the Latin name of that species. Before we get to that, just a couple of other little house cleaning things. Besides all of our social media, we would like for everyone to join our Patreon page. So if you go to patreon.com/owltalespodcast, you can follow along with some things with everything that we're doing. Actually, you can join that for free and see some things that we actually post on there. You can choose the $5 a month subscription, and we actually are going to be posting some videos on there. There's some videos on there right now as you all are listening to this that you can go on and see if you do the paid subscription, and those are going to be really fun and interesting. And in the future, we're hopefully going to do a few episodes that are only going to be on Patreon for people who are subscribed members. And so if you would like to do that, then go on there, you do the $5 subscription, and if you pay the $5 subscription for 3 months in a row, then you will get an exclusive Owl Tales Podcast sticker. And hopefully in the future, we're going to be having some other merchandise items and stuff on there for you guys. But for right now, we only have the stickers. So if you do $5 a month for 3 months, you get the exclusive sticker, and you get access to some videos and possibly some episodes that are only for the paid subscribers. Daniel and Lewis, you guys need to get on there and become members, because right now I am the only member. I made a Patreon page for us, and then I went and made my own personal account, and then followed the Owl Tales account. And right now, I'm still the only member. So even if you don't do the paid one, you can still go on there and do the free membership and follow along with any big announcements and stuff that we have. So you guys need to do that. I'm a little sad that y'all haven't done that.
I'll get on there and do that sometime this evening when we finish.
Yeah.
As soon as I can get some service when I get out of this school, I will.
It's going to be great. We're going to have a big old time on the Patreon. And then also ag teacher side hustles. We want to promote your ag teacher side hustle that you have. So if you sell eggs, if you flip houses, if you mow lawns, if you do anything on the side outside of your teaching job, we want to know about it, and we want to promote you on our podcast. And so if you get in touch with us on social media or email, we will be glad to talk to you about how we can get you on here so we can promote your ag teacher side hustle. We want to give as many shout outs on those as we possibly can. All right. Anything else before we get to this binomial nomenclature, guys? I'm really excited. It's been way too long since we've done one.
I'm ready to hear this new episode, Binomial Nomenclature with Lewis.
I can't even say the regular name of it. Okay. Today's Binomial Nomenclature with Lewis is Civet Cat.
Civet Cat, yes.
Civet Cat. And the binomial nomenclature is, oh, Lord. Paradoxurus hermaphrodites. Paradoxurus hermaphrodites. That is the binomial nomenclature of Civet Cat.
Why do you think it's hermaphrodites?
I guess because they're humans.
I don't know.
Hey, we hermaphrodites.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm not. But I don't know.
No, we're
I think
Homo
humans
sapiens.
You're,
I was going to say Homo sapien.
Well, what's a hermaphrodite? I've heard of them before, but I don't even know what they are. Hermaphrodite. It's like Hermione off of the Hogwarts. Maybe they're related to her.
I think that might be something else you want to ask your mom and dad about, Lewis. That I think they might be better to explain.
I've heard that name before.
You might be careful when you research that.
Hermaphrodite.
Actually,
You might not want to Google that.
Please go home and ask your dad what that is.
I'll record him doing it. I swear.
But be careful. Be careful when you do Google it. Be very careful.
I need a drink of water.
I'm still trying to figure that out. I've seen that, or somebody called me that one time.
Have you seen that?
Please don't ever say that again.
Oh gosh.
Was that a bad word? Hermaphrodite?
I think we'll let you figure that out.
Okay. I'll look it up tonight.
That's good. Oh gosh.
That's Dylan.
So that's anyway.
We better wrap this episode up. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's Binomial Nomenclature with Lewis. That is the Owl Tales Podcast, episode 1. Please tell all your friends and coworkers, anybody that you know. Follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Send us the email at owltalespodcast@gmail.com. We want to hear from all of our listeners. Thank you all for listening, and we will see you next time.
Hermaphrodites.